Good day, class. This is Unit 4, Formative 1, Day 5, Dividing Exponents. This is actually Day 1 of Dividing Exponents. Just a couple reminders. No negative exponents. Okay, and anything to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, so we're still following those rules. All right, so dividing exponents, okay, we are going to subtract. Okay, so we have a base of x here, okay, with the exponent of m, and then we have that over a base of x with an exponent of n. Now the bases are the same, so we're going to subtract our exponents. So this is going to be x to the m minus n, and that's going to be our answer. Now this is when m is greater than n. Okay. Same thing down here. Okay, we have x to the n over x to the m. Now if m is bigger, we are going to take and subtract m minus n. But notice where the answer is going to be. The answer is going to be in the denominator because m is bigger. Okay? What's happening is if we have x to the fourth over x to the second, that is like saying x times x times x times x over x times x. Okay? These x's cancel and these cancel, and I'm left with two x's in the numerator. Okay, the short way to get that is to take 4 minus 2. And if you flip them around, let's say we have x to the third over x to the sixth. This is 3 x's, and this is 6. Okay. Those cancel, and those cancel. Now remember they're canceling to 1s, so what's left is a 1 in the numerator, and we have 3 x's in the denominator, which is again 6 minus 3. Let's try some. All right. So make sure your bases are the same, so these are both x's, so we're going to take x, and it's going to be 4 minus 2, which is x to the second power. Now you don't have to do this step. Okay, you can subtract. Now here we have numbers 4 over 5. Okay, we don't subtract those aren't exponents. So that's actually 4 over 5 is a fraction. We can't simplify it, so we leave them 4 and 5. Now here we have m to the third over m to the ninth. So m to the ninth is larger one, so we're going to take 9 minus 3 and we get 6. And since the 9 is larger, we're going to have m to the 6. Because if I canceled, where would all those m's be? And they would be down here where the 9 is. All right, now on this one, we need to get rid of our negative exponent first. All right, so first one we got 6 and 2. Okay, 6 divided by 2 is 3 over 1. Okay, now my x to the second is positive, so I'm going to leave it. But this x to the negative third, I need to make it positive, so I'm going to move it up to my numerator. Now I'm left with 3. Now these are both in the numerator, x to the second, x to the third. So this is a multiplication problem. When it's a multiplication problem, we're going to add our exponents. So we get x to the fifth here, and there's 1 left on the bottom. All right, let's look at another one. All right, on this one, we have a negative exponent. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of my negative exponent. Okay, I have negative 3 over 9, which is negative 1/3. Okay. X to the fourth is staying. Y to the sixth is staying. Okay, I already got rid of that. My x to the second needs to move up because it's negative. My y to the third is staying in my denominator. Okay. Now, you got rid of all the negative exponents. You're either going to multiply or divide. Okay. Here I have my x's. So I have x to the fourth and x to the second. Okay, that's multiplication, so I'm going to add my exponents. 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay, that gets rid of those. Okay, now my y's. This is division, so you're going to subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3, and 6 is larger, so my leftover ones are going to be in my numerator. So negative 1, x to the 6, y to the third over 3. All right. So again on this one, first thing, let's get rid of our negative exponents. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, my numbers, I like to reduce those first so I don't forget about them. So that's going to be 1 over negative 3. So 7 over negative 21 is going to be 1 over negative 3. Okay. All right, so I got rid of those. Now my m to the second is m to the negative second, so I'm going to move it down. It becomes positive. N to the sixth is going to stay. P to the negative third is going to go down and become positive. All right, now I'm down here. So I have m to the sixth is positive, so it's going to stay. N to the negative fourth is negative, so I'm going to move that up. It becomes positive. And p to the negative seventh is going to move up because it's negative. All right, so now I got rid of all my negative exponents. So I have 1 and negative 3. Okay, I have my two n's here. Into the sixth, into the fourth, they're both in the numerator, so it's a multiplication problem. So I'm going to add my exponents. 6 plus 4 is 10. Okay, those are gone. Okay, now my p's here. I have p to the seventh over p to the third. It's division. So I'm going to subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4. And 7 is larger, so it's going to go in my numerator there. Okay, and now we have m's. So m to the second and m to the sixth, they're both in the denominator, so it's a multiplication problem. So 2 plus 6 is 8. And that's my answer. Okay. All right, next one. Hopefully I don't run out of room. So this is 4 over 1. All right, got rid of that. So my x to the negative third, I'm going to move down, becomes positive. Y to the second is going to stay. W to the negative fourth is going to move down. My x to the fifth is going to stay because it's positive. So 5. Y to the second is going to stay because it's positive. My w to the negative eighth is going to move because it's negative. Okay. All right, no negative exponents. So now I'm just need to multiply or divide. So I know I have 4 and 1. All right, my y's. Okay, I have a y here, y to the second over y to the second. So I'm going to subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. Remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. So we're just going to cancel those out. All right, next one's the w's. So I have w to the eighth over w to the fourth. So it's division. So 8 minus 4 is 4. And those 4 w's are going to go in the numerator. Okay. And I'm left with my x's. X to the third times x to the fifth, because it's multiplication because they're both in the denominator. So 3 plus 5 is 8. X to the eighth. Okay, and that's our answer. All right, let's look at division with scientific notation. So remember, we're grouping still, okay? Just like you grouped your x's and your y's. Okay, so the first thing I have 8.5 divided by 4. That's 2.125. Now remember, in scientific notation, we don't have fractions. Okay, so on this one I need to subtract. Okay, so I have 10 to the negative third over 10 to the second. So if I move my 10 down, okay, I'm going to get 10 to the fifth. But I can't, in scientific notation, I can't leave that in the denominator. So I need to move it back up to the numerator. And whenever you move something from the denominator or numerator or vice versa, you change the sign. So this is going to be 10 to the negative fifth. Okay. Make sure it's in scientific notation. Okay, so that looks good. That's under 10. So we're done. Okay. All right, next one. We have 3.27 divided by 6.8, and that gives us 0.4809. I'm going to round. Okay, times 10. Now here we have 10 to the fifth over 10 to the second, which gives us 10 to the third if we subtract. Okay, this is not in scientific notation, so I need to move my decimal over one time. Okay, and the number got larger, so this is going to get smaller by how many times I moved it. Okay, and that's it. All right, that's the start of division. Tomorrow we're going to have another division. They get a little more difficult, so make sure you read this, make sure you take good notes, and I'll see you guys in class.